happy to announce the signings of Jordy Delem and Zach Mathers. As we continue to fill out our roster, we still have some openings moving forward. Jordy is not eligible to play this weekend because we don't have his visa or player pass yet. Zach Mathers is eligible this weekend and will be under consideration to travel to Houston. So happy to have signed these guys. Guys that worked hard for S2 last season. Zach came through the draft. Jordy we identified from abroad. And so again, hopefully two good examples of depth players that we've added as a result of our player development system.
They're both kind of like central midfield guys. What do you see as the differences between the two of them?
Right now, Jordy's probably slightly more versatile. We saw him at Summit right back in preseason. I think he's probably best as a 6 right now. The great thing about young players is you can move them as appropriate. Zach is probably best as an 8, box to box type midfielder. But again, he gives us a little bit more. In simple terms, Zach's a little bit more offensive. Jordy's a little bit more defensive.
Garth, you were very high on Jordy when we spoke in the conference back in December. What is it about him in particular that really you think can translate to the first team game?
I think he's got some bite. Now he's had bite to the tune of a yellow card every match he's played in so far, so we got to rein that in a little bit. But he's competitive, and that's a good thing for a young guy. He's not afraid. I think he's a good technical player. He reads the game pretty well, and he plays for his country. He plays for Martinique, so he's had some experience on some bigger stages than just playing for Seattle.
Zach is the first player to spend a year down S2 and then get signed to a first team after the draft. You got a couple guys over at S2 right now. Does that give them kind of a clear signal? Hey, you play everything right and you can do it?
I hope so. That's. I want everybody in our academy to feel that way, that they're going to be given a look and an opportunity if they perform at a high enough level. Again, we want our progression to be Academy S2 Sounders. And again, I think you'll see some of those kids from the Academy play with S2 now going forward. And likewise, those guys at S2. We told them last year at the beginning, if you put your time in and you perform at a high level, you're going to get a chance for the first team. And we followed through on that.
You have 3 draftees with S2 right now as well. Trying to earn that roster.
Trying to earn roster spots. That's correct. Yeah. I think it's Goodman and Dennis Inkum and
Bjornthen?
Bjornthen, yes. Yeah, those 3 guys. And Cristobal signed somewhere else.
Has winning the cup for you guys changed in how players look at this team now, look at this club, and in fact, wanting to come here, or how you guys do business?
Seattle, I think, was a pretty big destination beforehand. I mean, thanks to our fans. You get to play a game in CenturyLink. I know all of our highlight videos always show, home games and playing in that environment, and that's pretty cool and unique. I think, sure, everybody wants to play for a champion, and that's something we're going to take a lot of pride in defending. But I think, to be fair, this is a pretty cool place to come to, even before the championship.
Where does Darius Barnes factor into some of those roster spots you're holding open right now? What's his health status?
He's hurt. He's out a couple weeks. We're trying to get him healthy. If he can get healthy, he's had injury issues off and on for 2 years, and that's the biggest thing. I think that people know what his ability is if he's healthy. He's had a string of injuries, and we got to get him right. And if he can get healthy and stay healthy, then he's definitely a player that we would seriously consider for the team.
What exactly is his injury?
He's got an adductor strain right now. Nothing serious, just got something he's got to get through.
Is he already on a rehab program in a couple of weeks?
Yep. Yeah, we expect him back hopefully before the end of the month.
Zach was a fine player at Duke, but maybe the learning curve into pro, getting more fit and the commitment to that. Can you talk about what he's had to do in the last 16 months to get there?
Yeah. Look, we ask these guys when they come in, the guys coming out of college, especially, a lot of them have to change diets or tweak diets and really pay a lot of attention to nutrition. So I give our sports science staff, who worked extensively with Zach and really helped him and gave him some guidance and some structure. And what's fun is we can now do individualized nutrition plans as well as fitness plans for all these guys, and the science that's out there now and the tools that these guys have now are pretty cool. And we're getting closer to getting everything we possibly can out of all of our athletes, not just Zach. And Zach certainly became more committed and became a better pro over the course of the last year. And again, that's a pretty normal progression for a lot of young players, and it's often the difference between making it and not making it.
The league had a cut-down day. Not many got cut, but are those guys that you could maybe explore? I know there's 2 big names with Jack Mack and Mix Discarud. Will the Sounders look to maybe take in one of the parts that was cut from another roster here over the next week or two?
It's possible. Both those guys you named are on huge contracts, so we would certainly not claim either one of them off waivers, because if you do that, then you have to pick up the full contract. Look, we're always talking to agents and representatives, and if there's a scenario where those numbers come way down, then maybe that's something that you explore. But honestly, neither of those guys is at a position we would consider a position of need right now, and so yes, we're looking. Yes, we're going to continue to try to sign guys. But again, we don't feel a lot of pressure to do that right now.
Brian said yesterday that David Olson had an injury in the preseason game against Atlanta. Whenever he's ready to come back, is he still in contention for a first-team spot, or is he looking more towards S2?
You've heard me talk about our progression, and for most of the college guys, all of our current college guys are training with S2. All save for Tony Alfaro last year signed with S2. So I think S2 is the more likely spot for most kids coming out of college. Now, obviously, we have Shea and Henry with the first team right now, but I think given the circumstances of this one, I think S2 is the most likely starting point if that's something that David's interested in doing.
Speaking of Henry, you see him taking the next step? He seems like he's acclimating himself to a first-team MLS right away, or is that too ambitious to speak of?
Look, he's here. He's training. He's holding his own. He's a guy that is in contention to be in the 18 this weekend. So he's done very well this preseason. He's a young player we're very excited about. He has athletic tools that translate well on the pro level, and he's a decent technical player as well. So if of all our young guys, he's probably had the best preseason, and that's really encouraging. But also, the beginning for him, and as he continues to push and find time and look for spots. But look, every team needs speed. Henry's really fast, and he's been really confident and good on the ball. And those are good qualities.
Thoughts for Evan Bryant for a whole season?
Double the fun. Schmetz has been great to work with from day one, and we look forward to working together for the whole season. And it's something that the best. I said this yesterday. The best coaches and GMs are the ones that work together. So that's the plan. And Brian has gotten in with the group and gotten his arms around it, and integrated with the staff, and with all the resources we have. One of the biggest challenges for a head coach is how do you use all the data and all the information. And I think Brian has been particularly astute at using the resources that are available to him too here, and I give him a lot of credit for that.